Okay, hello again. We are ready to begin our first encounter, first adventure. This one is called First Blood. I will not be showing you everything that's available on the screen. I will be just summarizing the most important bits and pieces, critical for the outcome of the battlefield that we're going to go through together. So I'm just going through all the setup instructions on the app. It's basically telling me to put together what you see in front of you. Okay. And there is a small narrative which I'm going to read from time to time. Since this is the very first adventure that we're going through, let's have a look what's ahead of us. As you are traveling toward Arran, you come across the still smoldering remains of a traveling caravan. One of the caravan guards, wearing the livery of Baron Gregory, lies wounded nearby. So this is the caravan that was mentioned in the narrative, in the introduction to the encounter, and this is our wounded villager, wounded guard. All right. The app also instructed me to place one chest over here. As an action, an adjacent hero can talk to the wounded guard to learn what happened here. All right. Setup is complete. Our objective is to gather information. So you might notice from the get-go that what Valkyrie does is something completely different than you might expect from the original campaign book, where you would see the whole layout of the encounter, and the book would instruct you to put it all together before you start it. What Valkyrie does actually is something completely different, and something that excites me a lot, because it takes you all the way back to Descent 1, to the very first edition, where you would put a lot of focus on exploration, and you every time you played a new scenario, you never knew what was ahead of you until you explored this room or the other. So something similar is ahead of us. Okay, so many of you probably already know at least the very first missions from Rune, but nonetheless, this will be quite exciting, as you will see later on. I've done a few playtests off camera to see how it goes, and if the flow is interesting enough for me and for you guys. And I think it is, especially in later scenarios. You will see a lot of twists, a lot of changes, very interesting changes these guys have introduced with Valkyrie. All right, so let's see what we can do. What I like to do every single time I begin any scenario is that I put my healers or my spellcasters in front, especially the ones who have limited number of movement points. For example, Brother Garen has only 3, same as Grissom. That's why I put them in front. In hardly in many scenarios you might expect monsters from the very first turns. That's why I give them this slight advantage, and I put them in front. You'll see why in just a moment. Okay, so let's kick things off really with Brother Grissom, I suppose. Brother Grissom will use his first action to move 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And I think we will interact with the wounded villager to see what happens. I will do it on screen. I will not be switching from the board to the screen, which is ahead of me. Sometimes I will, like I said in the beginning, but not every single time. I think it's this is the scene. This is where the most important and interesting things will take place. So let's do it. This is the wounded guard. As an action, an adjacent hero can talk to the wounded guard to learn what happened here. Okay, let's talk to him. An ambush, the guard gasps. Enetin is sending his minions straight into Arran through the secret path. How could he have known? I heard them calling him Mauler. You must stop him. The guard points to the direction the Etin disappeared after the attack on the caravan. You follow the footprints of what must have been a behemoth of an Etin. Alright, so now the app instructs me to build the entire board for the scenario. So let us quickly do that. Alright, like so. And I'll show you and explain to you what the goals of the encounter are. Okay, we need just one more. There it is. One end cap and one exit. One exit which we can put it like that. Alright, there we go. Ahead you see a lumbering two-headed form of an Etin. Mauler's goblin minions are taking a secret route to attack Aaron, Baron Grigory's seat. If too many of his goblins escape off the far side of the trail, Mauler will have triumphed over you. Your goal is to kill Mauler before that happens. Okay. Spawn a normal Etin in this area. Okay, he's blocking the way inside. Alright. Oh, this is Mauler. Oh, you heard him. He said hello. He has 8 additional health. So in total 16. Right, he has a special ability throw, which is quite usual for the Etins, but this one forces us to place the hero as close as possible to the entrance. So he will, every single time he can use this ability, he will push us back to the entrance. Alright, now the Goblin Archers. The Goblin Archers begin here in the garden. 5 of them, because there's 4 heroes. So let's put them like this. And each time a goblin moves off the exit, let me just readjust the camera so you can see the whole. There you go. Should be a lot better now. There you go. So anyways, every single time a goblin reaches the exit from the map, an overlord will score 1 victory point, which will be indicated by a stamina point. We will, if that happens, we will put 1 token here to indicate that a victory point has been gained by an overlord. Right, and whenever an overlord reaches 5, he wins. We win if we kill the boss, the Mauler. Alright, so 3 search tokens need to be placed on the map. 1, 2, and 3. Let's do it like that. There we go. Let's just double check that we can see everything on the camera. Yeah, the battlefield is complete. Let me readjust it for you so you can see it slightly clearer. There we go. We are ready to begin our first encounter. So what we need to do is find a way to kill Mauler as quickly as possible so we can win the scenario. Okay, let's go back to Ogre Grissom, because he used his first action to move 3 and interact with the villager who just ran away as soon as he told us what was about to happen. So we used 2 actions, but basically what I'm going to do right now is use 1 stamina point to move closer to the chest, so that next turn I'm ready to open it and see what's inside. Okay, so we will indicate on the app that Ogre Grissom finished his turn, and probably, yeah, Goblin Archers. Goblin Archers will activate. We'll start with Master Goblin. And special instructions say apply +1 speed to each minion Goblin Archer and +2 range to each Master Goblin Archer. So the Master will activate as follows. As an action, he will engage Mauler, moving to a space in line of sight of as many heroes as possible. And his second activation option is for an action to attack the hero with the least health remaining. Goblins have a movement of 5, so he will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He cannot stay there, so he will move one space further to be as close to the Mauler as possible. You will see why that is important for the Mauler when his turn comes. Alright, so we will highlight, we will indicate on the app that Master Goblin ended his turn, and now it's turn for minions. Same special instructions, so +1 speed to each minion goblin, +2 range to Master Goblin. So the Master Goblin finished his turn, so it's just minions now, and there's only one option for them, which is for an action, engage the exit. As you know, in Descent 2nd edition, monsters can do 2 actions. They can either move twice, move once, and attack once, and use their special abilities. One of them, forced by this scenario, is to engage the exit, so they will try to run away. So they can move 12 because the each action, each activation, they get +1 speed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He cannot move there. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He cannot go any further. 1. Oh, and by the way, this is my home rule, which I need to explain right now. According to the rules, you can go like that, diagonally. What I do in my games, in all of my dungeon crawlers, whenever there is a wall, you just cannot do that. You wouldn't be able to do it in real life, so why would a goblin or a hero do the same? So we will have to go like that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So it doesn't look very good for our heroes. We need to find a way to do something about at least 2 or 3 of them this turn, or otherwise they will score 4 points out of 5 necessary to win the scenario, which isn't ideal. Which isn't ideal for us. So as you can see, they're trying to run away. Let me readjust the camera because I just noticed that there we go, should be better now. So we have 3 heroes with their actions available. What can we do? Who can reach these goblins and and do some damage? I think we will start with either Durik or Garen, because either of them can summon either zombie or a wolf, which this turn will not be so beneficial, but next turn will gain an extra attack. So let's see what we can do. Brother Garen has 4 stamina points and 3 movement points, so we could go 1, 2, 3, 1 stamina, 2 stamina, and we could summon the zombie here. That would be 2 actions, and zombie could activate and go into the water and, for example, attack this one who's this goblin who's closest to the exit. And then, if we are lucky, we could go with Durik. His movement is 5, stamina 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2 stamina. Summon the wolf. 2 actions, and then the wolf could kill another goblin. So if we are lucky with dice rolls, we could kill 2 and risk losing 2 victory points to the Overlord. Okay. That's interesting. Interesting turn of events. Let's see what Laurel could do. Her movement is 4, stamina 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2 stamina. And she could shoot, for example, this goblin. But she would have to do it first, because then her line of sight will be blocked by either wolf or zombie. Or if we manage to kill off one of these guys with either zombie or wolf, they could move in with one space further to, you know, so they do not block the line of sight. So we have so many options, but then again, what's going to happen is either minion Aten or Mauler will activate after either of our heroes. So we need to think strategically. So what we might do actually is we could body block with Brother Garen. His health points is 12. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Yeah, let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 stamina points. So he has 2 remaining. Okay, so that was his first action. Now we will summon the dead for 1 stamina point. Okay, and we will summon the zombie. Where are you, zombie? There he is. So we can place the zombie in any empty adjacent space to Brother Garen, and zombie can activate. Zombie's movement is 3, health points 4, and he attacks with a red die. So he could go into the water for 2 action, for two movement points. Yeah, and maybe attack. Yeah, attack this one. So as I said, this is the dice pool. Let's roll it. Okay, there we go. That's the attack. So zombie attacks for 4, and the surge for zombie is +1 damage, so it's 5 minus 1 is way enough to kill goblin, whose health points is only 2. Alright, so we will let the app know that Brother Garen moved and ended his turn. Exactly, that's what I expected. It's the Athens now. The minion needs to activate, and his special instructions say each hero adjacent to the minion applies -2 to his strength to a minimum of 1. That's quite interesting. You'll see why if that happens in a moment. Okay, and instructions, activation options for minion Aten is, for an action, engage the closest hero, which is easy, and then attack the hero within 2 spaces of this monster with the least health suffered. All right, none of our heroes suffered any damage yet, so that's pretty straightforward. Now, can he attack Brother Garen, who's standing behind the corner? Yeah, he can, because according to line of sight rules from the rules book, you know, if there is a straight line from any corner occupied by a figure to your target's figure, then the line of sight is okay. So the minion Aten can attack without moving. So since he can attack only once, he will engage. He has engaged my hero, and then he will attack. It's blue, red, and the defense for Brother Garen is just a standard great die. Let's roll it. Woo! Look at that. It's a mess. You missed, mate. There aren't any other activation options for Athens. Sometimes it says retreat or move towards another hero. It doesn't say anything here, so the way I play it is that they just stay there. And it's actually quite a good strategic place, because he blocks the way to the Mauler. And remember, we need to kill Mauler to win the scenario. Okay, so minions activated. Yeah, it's our turn. So out of all the monsters on the field, only Mauler is able to activate soon. We'll see what happens. Okay. Now we have Laurel or Durik left with action points, and what we need to do is try to work on the elimination of these goblins, because some of them will respawn at the beginning of the next turn. So we have 2 movements. So first our hero will move, and then Mauler will move as well. So we need to make sure that we are ready for that. So looking at Mauler, his movement is 3, so he can go 1, 2, 3. He cannot stay here, but if he goes 1 square further, he will end up here. Is it good for him to be here? Not really. That's another house rule that I like to follow. I'm not following app's instructions to the letter, because sometimes they don't make sense. You know, it's to be expected that you cannot predict every situation that can happen on the board. That's why I overrule the rules sometimes, and I always take actions which are more beneficial from the overall perspective. So I try to balance things out and keep it fair and exciting and challenging for me as well. So you will see me do that quite often. So you might comment on it in the comment sections below, but you know, just to keep that in mind, that I try to be as fair as possible and keep the game interesting for me. I'm not trying to cheese the AI, which sometimes, you know, can be cheesed. Okay, so options. What can we do? We can come with Laurel. All right, had a small interruption at home, so sorry for that. I'm back. So let's finish this turn, and then we'll see where we are. Anyways, I decided to move with Durik. His movement is 5, stamina 4. So for his first action, he will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For 1 stamina point, he will spawn his wolf over here, right? And for his second stamina point, he will move 1. That leaves him with no actions left, but he's body blocking the Etin. So now it's up to the wolf to carry on and hopefully kill one of the goblins. So let's do that. So the movement is 4 for the wolf. So 1, 2, 3. Shall we stay in the water? I think we will. No, we will go around the corner just in case we want to move in with Laurel and shoot this guy, because he will be in the line of sight. So he attacks, the wolf attacks this goblin. It's blue dice, and it's a miss. So he missed. So Durik's turn is finished. Yeah, there we go. It's Mauler's turn. Ooh, plenty of special instructions for Mauler. So let's go through them one by one. Mauler's attacks gain +2 damage. Whew. Attacks of the minion Etin gain +1. Okay, after Mauler has attacked, perform a move action and retreat. Then his activation immediately ends. Now there you go. This is what I meant when we activated minion Etins. Alright, so for the Mauler. Engage the closest hero within 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he could engage Durik if it hadn't been for his buddy here, who's blocking the way. So the movement for Mauler is 3, so he can go 1, 2, 3, and I'll end up here. He cannot expand, because you know the rules for medium and large monsters is that they can squeeze in and then expand. He cannot expand because there's no space for him to do so. He would have to move here, and then he would have expanded in this area. He could do that, but then he wouldn't be able to attack. So his next activation option says, for an action, attack the hero within 2 spaces. There isn't any. Or for his last action, perform a move action and retreat. So what I can do basically is prepare for the next turn and move him 1 closer, so then he can potentially go through here and you know, and attack. But right for now, or if I were playing the Overlord, I would like to stall the game long enough for my goblins to escape. All right, so that's how I'm going to finish Moller's turn. Yep. And now it's Laurel's turn. So Laurel, her movement is 4, stamina is 5. So let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2 stamina points. So let's spend 2 stamina points. And she has a clear line of sight to shoot that goblin with her short bow. She attacks with yellow. He defends with grey. She has a special ability, which I will tell you about. Come on, did you see that? Oh, damn. Alright, so we missed. So it's 2 misses in a row. First the wolf missed, now she missed. So this potentially we will lose 3 points. So end turn. Now the application asks me how many stamina tokens are here. There isn't any because none of the goblins managed to escape, so I will just say 0. Alright, the app tells me to spawn 3 goblins, goblin archers on 26A, which is this area. We only have 1 available, so only 1 will spawn. That will give us the total of 5, which is the maximum allowable for this composition. All right, okay, so there we are. Next turn, what can we do? We need to do something about the goblins, because I'm quite sure they will activate immediately after the very first hero, who will act right now. I think my best option is to activate Brothergern, so he will turn around and command his zombie to attack. Okay, so our zombie attacks with red dice, and he will attack this goblin. All right, let's have a look what happens. Oh, there you go. Our zombie is our hero of the party, really. So he destroys this goblin because he attacks for 3. 1 surge is another damage, so it's 4 minus 1 is 3. 2 is enough to kill the goblin. There you go. So our zombie used one of his actions for an attack. Now he can move. So I will move my zombie into the water. He cannot go any further because his movement is 3. And he already used 2 to move into the water, because the hard terrain, challenging terrain, requires you to spend 2 movement points to move 1 square. All right. So now it's Brothergern's turn. And what he can do is he can shoot either this one or that one. He can see both. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 range. Okay. His Reaper's Cane allows him to attack with a yellow dice. Okay, and I have 2 options, two actions. So let me use the first action to attack. For a surge with my cane, I can spend 1 surge to add 1 range. Shall we do that though? Or closer? Yeah, let's shoot the closer one first. Whoa, that's a nice one. That's the attack. We attack for 2. and we have 2 surges, right? The goblin blocks 1, so as I said, I decided to attack the one that was closer, so the range is in place. It's 1, 2, 3, exactly that. I would have, I could have, you know, increased that by using one of the surges, but I don't have to do that. But what I can do is use Garen's special ability, which says, each time you perform an attack after dice are rolled, you may suffer 1 health to add 1 damage to the results. Limit once per attack. And this is exactly what I'm going to do. So from 12 down to 11. So now we attack for 3. 1 is blocked. Let's pretend it was this one, right? And 2 go through. And as I said before, Goblin's HP is only 2, so this one is killed. So my Reaper's Cane allows me to heal 1 health point every time I kill a monster with this weapon. So I gain my HP, which I sacrifice to boost my damage. I get it back, and also I'm going to use that surge to get 1 stamina point back. Okay, I have 1 more action to spend with Brother Garen, and I will try to shoot this goblin right now. Let's do it. The range is there, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 6, so that's fine. 1 damage is blocked, 1 goes through. But again, I can use my special ability, which says limit once per attack, but this is the 2nd attack. Okay, so I can do that. So again, I'm spending it, so I attack for 2. Goblin's HP is only 2, so he's dead. My Reaper's Cane allows me to heal 1 every time I kill a monster, so I get it back. There are no surges, so I cannot use any of these to gain stamina points back. But I think that overall this was a very good turn for Brother Garen and his zombie. We managed to kill 3 goblins that were ready to escape through the exit. So there we are. I will tell the app that we ended our turn with Brother Garen, and now it's Ettin's turn. Minions this time. It says apply +2 speed to each Ettin. Oh, that's interesting. And their activation options are, for an action, engage the closest hero. So yeah, and attack a hero. Okay, so what I will do from the overall perspective, what I could do, there are 2 options actually. 3 options. 1, I could go here and attack. I could go there and attack. Oh, pieces of the base just fell up. Or I could go, I cannot go through, space is occupied by heroes, so I can't. I was thinking about coming here, since I have 2 extra speed. Or my last option is to remain where I am and block the access to Mauler, which again gives me more time to let my goblins escape. Okay, and I think that's what I'm going to do. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So he will attack the closest hero. In this case, it's Durik. Durik gets a shot. Yeah. Oh, that's actually quite good. Look. So minion Ettin, for a surge, he can add 2 damage. So he attacks for 5. So let me do it like this. This is exactly the same. So I block 1 and I get 2 damage. So I will take away 2 HP from Durik's dashboard. Engage the closest hero. So that's it for the minions. All right, now the heroes. Okay.